All right, Lucas, we're here on hole 13 after we got the camera set up here. Great drive, almost drove the green on this par four. However, we did talk about wanting to talk about, some golf shots in the native grass here. So we're kind of good as I wanted to talk about native grass and also kind of some hard pan. Obviously it's winter here. The native grass isn't crazy long, but just some of the small tips that that I found to work and that I like to do in some of my on my lessons and playing lessons. So we got you kind of in some thick grass here that your tee ball went. Typically, I like to use a little more loft on this shot. Okay, mainly because I want it to try to get airborne, so it stays out. It doesn't have to cut through all this grass, knock your ball down, and get it offline. Once again, I'm not saying you need to have a 64-degree wedge, but I know you have a, what do we got here? We brought all 3-year wedges, a 60, a 54, or 56, excuse me, and a 52. I know just with how much golf we play, the 56 is kind of your go-to club. So I think, with how much green we have here, we don't really have a landing area that we have to hit it within a foot, right?
Okay.
You got about 40 feet of green to work with. So I think if you land this, at least 4 or 5 paces on the green, it should roll out to you. So, we're just talking about course management. We're assessing the lie. We're assessing the green, how much we got to work with. And we're also assessing, some terrain, right? We're going back into the mountain. So you can still be kind of aggressive with this because it is an uphill, roll to the green there. So what I would say is we hit one ball here with that 56 degree that you love.
Okay.
Once again, it's not too much loft where it's going to hit this tree up here, but it should give us, plenty of chance to have that bump and run as well. And then we'll try a 60 degree. I know you typically don't use the 60 degree, but we can try it and see if we want to use it kind of in the future. But I think the 56, like you like to play here, is a great shot. So let's go ahead and smack this one once and see how we do.
Sounds good. I'll looking kind of almost middle of the green, about that 4 or 5 paces that you're looking at.
Okay.
Maybe just a little left of the pin.
Well done. Really well done. Well, I mean, looking at that, I didn't, I'm a low ball player, right? I hit it low, you hit it high. So luckily we didn't use that 60 degree because I think you would have clipped that tree. But once again, great job landing it on the green, assessing it, and doing a fantastic job there. Next, I just want to kind of place one kind of on this little hard pan, a little more of a hard pan area, and kind of talk about what I usually like to do kind of on shots like this. Typically, I like to use less loft as well. Once again, especially if you have this much green to work with, once again, you don't have to land this in a 1 foot area, right? You have plenty of green to work with where you can play that kind of more bump and run, that kind of safer shot there. I also like using kind of mid bounce. I know you're kind of a mid bounce guy, so am I. I think that's really good for Colorado, kind of just with the versatile kind of turf we have here. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's firm, or sorry, soft, but it just depends. But I think right around that 10 bounce, which is I think all your wedges are 10 bounce, except for maybe this. Yeah, 52 is 9 bounce, so that's just fine.
Okay.
But I'd like to try to see this 52 degree here, once again, because you don't have to worry about this tree with a 52 or anything like that. But it's pretty much the same shot here, but should be a little easier hopefully.
Yeah. As far as ball position, do you middle of the stance, or you go a little further back?
I think
forward?
middle. I mean, you
Okay.
can maybe go a little farther back just to make sure that we're not really like digging it into the ground too much and kind of stubbing it.
Yeah.
Once again, I think a big key is just keeping up kind of the acceleration here. And once you've already picked your landing area, all we're worrying about is contact, right? Contact on that practice swing. That practice swing's huge. As soon as we get a good, good swing where you feel like your turf interaction is good after you've assessed your lie there, then that's the thought that we obviously want to keep going with, right? Because this is all about just contact here. So, like I say, you got plenty of room, plenty of green to work with. So, let's try this 52. I know it's not your typical wedge shot, but you like that 56. But let's try the 52 here.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I'm looking relatively the same spot.
Okay.
Around 4 or 5 paces. I think that would be pretty good here.
All right. Okay, another one. Let's try it again. Like I said, this hard pan can be a little tricky sometimes, especially with a wedge shot that you are, a wedge that you don't always you know, hit with, right? You're a 56 degree guy, so you got it. Great job choking up on the club. I love that with the ball above your feet. Nope, that's all right. Try it again. That's why we bring multiple balls
There
here
we
for
go.
this playing lesson.
I think going back to that short game lesson, I am getting a little risky.
Risky, yeah, I agree.
Next one, I think I'll try.
Yep, try that. Yeah, kind of lock those wrists a little more. There we go. So much crisper contact there. Well done, right? So I think that was a really good, you know, input you had there, right? When you get kind of wristy, you definitely start adding a lot of lock to that club, right? And so it's like going to kind of start bouncing and going underneath.
Yeah.
It kind of was a little deceptive though, because it kind of felt like hard pan, but the club grinded under, or kind of flew underneath that, that grass really, really well. A lot better than I would have thought. So once again, kind of just another tool to the bag. Once again, good job keeping the swing going. Great like on-course assessment that you had yourself with just making sure no risks, right? Or less risks, right? Not no risk, but less risk. So once again, two great shots though.
Awesome.
Right? Yeah.
Thank you.